On today's episode, we look at Tools of Titans by Tim Ferriss. It's a collection of his life's recipes, meaning he's one of those dudes who records every workout and is constantly figuring out how to improve. And now he's letting us in on his secret world. Take all those ideas that he's been working on ever since he was a kid, this compendium, this magnificent collection of ideas, and throwing it all into this super toolkit. And that's how it's to be read. You just flip through it, you flip through this book, get good ideas, and here we see in the book that Ferriss is talking with some of the best minds in the world, and they have a lot of ideas. So I'm going to tell you what I think are some of the best top 15 ideas in the first portion of this book. I have the book right in front of me now. Part 1 is healthy, part 2 is wealthy, and part 3 is wise. And so we're mostly going to be focusing on the healthy section. Number 1. Peter Thiel, the billionaire, likes to ask himself and others, if you have a 10-year plan of how to get somewhere, you should ask, why can't you do this in 6 months? For purposes of illustration, Tim rewords this to, what might you do to accomplish your 10-year goals in the next 6 months if you had a gun against your head? That kind of changes everything, doesn't it? What would you do to accomplish your 10-year goals in the next 6 months if you had a gun against your head? Number 2, patterns of the successful. 80% of the successful have some form of daily mindfulness or meditation practice. It's what I do. It's one of the first things I do when I wake up. Also, many of the males, the successful males, don't eat breakfast, and many successful types like to use the chili pad device for cooling at bedtime. The chili pad. Have you ever heard of this? I'm guessing it's some type of waterbed blanket where you can adjust the temperature. It's exactly what I need because our room gets so hot in the middle of the night. So I went on Amazon and I looked it up and I was so excited until I saw the price tag. $1,100. I'm not kidding you. Timothy Ferriss didn't mention that in his book. Many successful types listen to single songs on repeat for focus. I don't know if you've ever done that. Number 3, playing with temperatures. Cyclist David Zabriskie, 7-time U.S. National Time Trial Championship winner, considers the sauna a more practical replacement for high-altitude simulation tents. Think 32% more endurance by using that sauna, says Dr. Rhonda Patrick. She also says it can increase growth hormone levels as well by going 4 times per week, typically at roughly 160 to 170 degrees Fahrenheit. More precisely, 2 20-minute sauna sessions at 176 degrees Fahrenheit, separated by a 30-minute cooling period, elevated growth hormone levels twofold over baseline. And these effects persist for a couple of hours post-sauna. You hear about some people doing this. I think some of my relatives might do this, but I'm not sure. Sylvester Stallone, part of the reason he looks so young, growth hormones. Timothy Ferriss drinks ice water and takes ice baths afterwards, speaking of temperatures. But obviously he's aiming at the inflammation in the esophagus we males can, get. So that's something that we males in particular have to look out for. Cancer, throat cancer, Think about Michael Douglas, and we all know how he got his throat cancer. So here I am. I'm just rummaging around the wrenches. Amelia Boone, a 3-time finisher of the death race, amongst other things. Love to meet her, I can't imagine. She loves doing training runs in the rain and cold as she knows her competition is probably opting out. This is an example of rehearsing the worst case scenarios to become more resilient. There's a whole section on Wim Hof in this book as well too. And I'm really into Wim Hof as well. If you haven't seen my video, make sure to check out I was just down in San Francisco at a Wim Hof conference. Anyway, he's known as the Iceman, the guy who does the underwater ice submersion. So he has a great 10-day course that will change your life if you want to go in that direction as well too. Number 4, male gymnasts don't have the biceps the size of their waists from curls. This bulk comes largely from straight arm work, especially Maltese work on the rings. So check out the ring thing at Power Monkey Fitness or generic Dream Machine. I need to get these rings to bulk up my biceps. I don't care if it looks weird to go to gymnastics class, okay? Number 5, page 22 goes over the ketogenic diet, which is a high-fat diet that mimics fasting physiology. This is the diet where your brain and body begin to use ketones for energy instead of blood sugar to arrive at a state called ketosis. This is achieved through fasting, diet, ketones, or a combination. So how do you know that you're in ketosis? Well, Tim says the most reliable way to find out if you're in ketosis is to use a device called the Precision Extra by Abbott. This can measure both glucose and blood levels. And once you reach 0.5 millimolars, you can consider yourself lightly in ketosis. There's another doctor in the book, Dr. Peter Attia, who wears a Dexcom G5 continuous glucose monitor to track his glucose levels 24/7, which are displayed on his iPhone. So I'm noticing a theme here where a lot of these guys are obsessed with their insulin and glucose levels. I mean, you want to talk about adapting to the new age or new technology? It's hard to adapt when people are monitoring their glucose 24/7. Oh, don't mind me. I'm just taking my blood. I'll just be here in the corner. But Timothy says he tends to feel increased mental clarity. Why consider ketosis or supplemental ketones? Anti-cancer effects, better use of oxygen, anti-inflammatory effects. And I'm sorry, guys, I'm not going to spend the whole time on ketones. It just, to me, this is so fascinating. And it's a great intro into the ketogenic diet. It's a whole world that really might save your life, and you can simply do this by, getting one of these powders that are in this book, Tools of Titans, that they list. Number 6, fasting. Dr. Dominic DAgostino says if you don't have any cancer and you do a therapeutic fast 1 to 3 times per year, you could purge any precancerous cells that might be living in your body. If you ever know anybody that has cancer, I'll just throw this out there, because Dom says that in the book that he says fasting essentially slows or sometimes stops rapidly dividing cells and triggers an energetic crisis that makes cancer cells selectively vulnerable to chemo and radiation. So there are many studies to support this claim with fasting. Go to number 8. Charles Poliquin, one of the best known strength coaches in the world, says, the most important thing I've learned about nutrition is you need to deserve your carbs. Man, let's deserve it. I ate a lot of pumpkin pie at Christmas. They gave me so much pumpkin pie. I'm like, shouldn't you put that on plate? And they're like, no, just eat it right out of the container. Here's a tub of ice cream. So, Charles, the strength coach, says that you need to be sub 10% fat. Put another way, you have to be able to see all your abs. So you have to have penis skin on your abs. He actually said that, penis skin. And on that note, man, it's also important you wake up with a boner, says Kelly Starrett, one of the best performance coaches in the world. In the book, they say this isn't me. Apparently, the boner is an excellent indicator of sleep quality, hormonal health, circadian rhythm, timings, and that sort of thing. Number 9, for back pain, check out the Neoyah acupressure mat. This rollout needle mat performs miracles for back pain. Just pull it out of your gym bag. That's where Timothy keeps his. Number 10, visual overriding. Jane McGonigal. Did you see that great talk on TED about reality and why video games are cool and can educate and that kind of thing? She says 10 minutes of Tetris before going to bed can crowd out anything, replaying or looping in one's mind that will inhibit sleep. My wife is literally doing this right now in our living room. She's playing Tetris. Apparently, it's not really helping her with her sleep. She says, I don't know, but she's addicted and sees colors and shapes. Number 11, morning routines. As soon as you wake up, make your bed, because that makes you feel like you accomplished something. Yeah, after reading this book, I'm making my bed every day. I didn't used to do that. I used to just get up. But the people in this book, they're doing these special things. They make their bed, meditate, that's something I do too, and do 10 to 15 reps of something. I have weights sitting right outside my bedroom, and I just, boom, 10 to 15. It's not meant to build muscles, it's just meant to get the blood going. And one of those mini trampolines, just prime yourself. Remember, Tony Robbins jumps in his cold bath. I jump in the cold shower if I can, and maybe do some Wim Hof exercises. Also, check out the morning pages by Julia Cameron. Julia Cameron has a book called The Artist's Way, and the morning pages are in there. And it's basically where you just write 3 pages. Stream of consciousness, just keep the pen moving. 12. Meditation master Shinzen Jung said that if he were allowed to teach only one focus technique And none other, it would be this one. It's just called Just Note Gone. This is where we train the mind to notice that something previously experienced is no more. For example, at the end of a breath, notice that the breath is over. Gone. As a sound fades away, notice when it's over. Gone. When this YouTube video is done, just notice it. Gone. 13. Meditate on other people you want to be happy can help you to be more happy and get you out of the normal meditation, which is usually a very me-focused activity where you're thinking about your stuff, but think about other people, wishing them happiness. And doing this seems to resolve at least 90% of the mental chatter, Tim Ferriss says.
Thank you so much for joining me today, and feel free to share this video with any of your friends. This book is so interesting. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and thumbs up button if you haven't already. Meanwhile, have a fantastic week. I'll see you next Friday. It was great, as always.